Were the stresses you faced as a child quietly programming how your body stores fat and handles insulin today?
Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at mercola.com for the latest health insights.
Hello, and welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. I'm Ethan Foster, and we're examining new evidence that early life adversity can leave a measurable imprint on your metabolism decades later, with women showing the greatest vulnerability.
I'm Alara Sky. Today we'll walk through a McGill University analysis using UK Biobank data that ties childhood adversity to higher visceral fat and metabolic syndrome risk, especially when brain insulin signaling runs high. We'll also outline the actions you can take now to reduce that long-tail risk.
The study followed more than 32,000 adults and asked a straightforward question. Do early conditions combine with brain insulin signaling to shape your later metabolic health? Researchers scored early adversity across real-world experiences, from low birth weight and maternal smoking to abuse, neglect, family instability, and maternal mental illness, while crediting protective factors such as breastfeeding and medical access. That composite captured how stressful or supportive your start in life actually was.
Instead of stopping at blood sugar, they probed insulin signaling in your brain. Using an insulin receptor expression-based polygenic risk score, built from a co-expression network of 263 genes, they focused on the mesocorticolimbic system, including prefrontal cortex and striatum. Those regions govern reward, impulse control, eating behavior, and energy balance. A higher score indicated greater activity of this insulin receptor gene network.
Here's the key interaction. Childhood adversity predicted more visceral fat and higher metabolic risk, and the effect was strongest in people with higher brain insulin signaling activity. In that subgroup, more adversity meant deeper abdominal fat storage and a greater likelihood of meeting metabolic syndrome criteria, which included inflammation markers, even when standard clinical cutoffs for diabetes or heart disease hadn't been crossed.
Women stood out. When the team stratified by sex, the adversity by brain insulin interaction was consistently stronger in women, linking higher gene network activity and early stress to greater visceral fat and a higher probability of metabolic syndrome. In men, these patterns weren't statistically significant, and women with lower brain insulin scores didn't show the same elevation in risk.
Visceral fat here is an early signal. It reflects central regulation of energy storage, responding powerfully to stress hormones and neuroendocrine inputs. Its expansion tells you that energy allocation is shifting toward defensive storage patterns that correlate with long-term metabolic strain.
Mechanistically, the picture is coherent. Early adversity programs the stress response system, particularly the HPA axis, promoting higher cortisol, inflammation, and hedonic food seeking. Prenatal adversity with poor fetal growth has been linked to later impulsivity and preference for palatable foods, with imaging studies showing increased activation of decision-making and impulse control regions when those adolescents view food cues.
Insulin in the brain is not just about glucose disposal. It modulates impulsivity and reward in the striatum and prefrontal cortex. Animal work suggests that restoring insulin signaling in these circuits can reduce impulsive eating and preference for hyperpalatable foods, aligning with the human patterns observed in the study.
Carry that forward into adulthood, and persistent stress becomes metabolically expensive. Sympathetic activation and catecholamines are designed for short-term bursts, not chronic demand. Research shows that sustained sympathetic tone, especially alongside excess energy intake, promotes insulin resistance and metabolic dysfunction, even when insulin is still being produced.
Cortisol amplifies the problem by increasing hepatic glucose output and circulating free fatty acids, eroding insulin's ability to control blood sugar. Over time, that hormonal environment stresses mitochondria, reduces energy efficiency, and increases oxidative byproducts. Modern stressors, disrupted sleep, continuous mental load, and dietary excess keep these systems switched on, and highly processed foods, including vegetable oils that impair mitochondrial metabolism, compound the disruption.
You're not locked into that trajectory. Start by reducing ongoing stress, improving insulin sensitivity, restoring energy production, and supporting hormonal balance. One lever is limiting linoleic acid from seed oils. Replace soybean, corn, sunflower, safflower, and canola with stable saturated fats like tallow, ghee, or grass-fed butter. The target is under 5 grams of linoleic acid per day, ideally below 2 grams, because excess LA integrates into cell membranes and disrupts energy metabolism.
Rebuild energy production with appropriate carbohydrates. Your metabolism benefits from a steady glucose supply that supports thyroid function and mitochondrial efficiency. A daily intake around 250 grams of carbohydrates from whole food sources is recommended. If your gut is sensitive, begin with whole fruits and white rice, then layer in starches as tolerance improves.
Reduce environmental stressors that drain metabolic capacity. Choose glass or stainless steel food containers, avoid heating food in plastic, and keep your phone away from your body while sleeping. These steps lower the background load from plastics, personal care chemicals, and electromagnetic fields that can interfere with efficient energy conversion.
Prioritize movement, breathing, and sleep. Walk daily, about 60 minutes is a practical anchor, and add resistance training 2 to 3 times weekly to expand glucose handling capacity in muscle. Deep, consistent sleep supports ATP production and calms cortisol. Slow nasal breathing helps raise carbon dioxide gently, improving oxygen delivery and supporting cellular energy processes.
Get daily sunlight exposure to stimulate melatonin inside mitochondria, improving insulin sensitivity and protecting against oxidative damage. If your diet has been high in vegetable oils, give yourself at least 6 months of lowering those fats before extending midday sun exposure, because high LA increases your tendency to burn.
Round out your stress reduction toolkit with accessible practices. Slow nasal breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, autogenic training, and even mindful crying release stored tension, and help your system shift from energy-draining responses into repair. Creativity, gratitude journaling, optimism, laughter, and positive visualization redirect attention towards safety and stability, promoting signals that favor efficient metabolism.
If you want a structured technique, emotional freedom techniques, tapping on specific points while focusing on stressors, aims to restore inner balance quickly. Use it as a brief intervention when you feel physiological arousal rising, then follow with the lifestyle anchors we outlined.
Here's your challenge for today. Reflect on your early life stress exposure, then pick 2 actions. Remove seed oils to cut linoleic acid below 5 grams per day, and set a consistent daily walk with slow nasal breathing. Add 1 supportive habit, glass containers, earlier bedtime, or gentle morning sunlight, and track how your waistline, energy, and post-meal steadiness respond over the next 6 weeks. Thank you for watching Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.